Well, as promised, let's get chatting with the management of Endurance Technologies. Remember, they reported a rather good set of numbers, good top-line growth, while margins were a tad bit under pressure because of a couple of one-offs. We're currently joined by Mr. Ramesh Gehani, the ED and CEO of the company. Hi, Mr. Gehani. Thanks so much, sir, for joining in today. You know, before we get to talking about your numbers, in the last couple of days, Mahindra and Mahindra as well as Eicher Motors, both of them have cut down their guidance. In terms of two-wheelers, I guess Eicher Motors would be one of your clients. Do you see this having an impact on your numbers? You've already grown by close to around 18% in the first 9 months. What kind of a growth number can you end this year with? And what about next year?
See, currently we are growing at a rate of around 25.3%, right? What we have closed at, that's a year ending 9 months. Now, going forward, yes, there is a bit of a slowdown which is observed. But that is mainly because, people are getting ready for the new models and there is a BS6 changeover and there are regulatory norms which are changing. So I think it's a preparatory part of it. And then the base has gone a bit bigger. If you look into what happened last year in January, there was a steep jump of somewhere around 33.6% by the industry. Now, since the base is getting bigger, probably these are corrections to the whole course. And right now, I don't see any cause of worry because we have got our strategies in place and growing at 25% in the last 9 months. We've got good order books in hand. I'm not hesitant to say that our strategies are in place and we will continue to perform better than the industry.
Mr. Gehani, so you are not observing any slowdown for Endurance Tech. You will be able to maintain this 25% growth run rate?
No, not exactly 25%. Of course, if a few customers, they reduce their volumes a bit, some kind of sales impact will happen. We should be closing around somewhere 20% or so.
20%? Okay. And have any of your customers cut back on their orders so far, or have they given any indication that they're likely to?
No, not really. We receive monthly schedules from them. They go month by month. We don't receive a quarterly schedule. There's an annual plan which we receive, and then we receive a month-by schedule. So, as such, there's no reduction that we see in February.
Okay, and what about for the next year? What will you grow by? 10 to 15% from 20% that you will deliver in this year? Is that something?
It's too early to make that forward-looking statement because the numbers from the OEMs are yet to flow in. The final business plan. So it's too early to put a number on that. Okay. All I can say that we have been performing better than the industry. We'll be continuing the same way.
Interesting part is that TVS, I think that was one of the only OEMs that were not part of your client list, right? You added them in the last quarter. I think the order side is not very large. I think it's maybe around 30 to 45 crores approximately. But for the coming year, and what kind of an opportunity does it throw up by adding another client?
No, let us look at it a different way. TVS has been a very important breakthrough for us. These orders are close to 40 crores for brakes division, right? And that's a start point of our penetration level into TVS.
Okay.
If you look into our other clients, we are present in all our product verticals, like in suspension, transmission, braking, and so on. TVS, this is the first level of entry. Okay. So the opportunities of penetration are multiple because all our product lines are yet to go in. This is the start point of that.
Are you in conversation with them to sell any of your other products? How soon do you think you will be able to penetrate TVS Motors and get some other orders?
No, I wouldn't like to comment on that because the engagement process of the OEMs, especially for the product categories that we hold, the product segments that we hold, are absolutely those which are critical. In the sense, one is suspension, transmission. These are all safety and, they consume a lot of time for testing and so on.
Earlier in the conversation, Mr. Gehani, you mentioned about ABS. Now, I remember you had done, a technical collaboration with BWI. I think you're all set to launch that in the market, right? What kind of an opportunity size does that throw up for you?
That's a very good and important question. See, our first target would be to set the product in, get the customer approvals, right? The testing is already complete. We are going to give the samples in February this year. The most important focus point for us would be concentrate on the quality because the people whom we are competing with, they're well-established players, they're experts in their own field. Our prime concentration would be to have the quality set in first and then we'll take it forward from there.
But you can quantify that, right, in terms of an opportunity size. You'll always be having some target numbers in mind.
Well, we have set up a capacity that's something I can tell you.
Yes.
We have set up a capacity of approximately 400,000 units in a year.
Okay.
I would take it step by step. First, we reach to those capacities. We'll consolidate our position. We'll win the confidence of the customers by our quality, and then we take it forward from there.
Mr. Gihani, if you could just talk a little bit more about the margin pressure that you've seen in your India business. They've come down by 120 basis points to 12.1%. What led to it, and do you expect this margin pressure to continue?
The one point I'd like to make, our margin is at 12.4, not 12.1.
Okay.
As far as if you look into the arithmetic thing which applies onto the numbers, RM when moves up, raw material moves up, it has an impact on your margin percentages. That impact on us is approximately 0.8%. The second impact is that on one of our plants which we have consolidated and we have closed down, that is Manesar, the shifting expense and one-time closure expenses was a part of Q3. So that's impacted us by approximately 0.5%. So that's why 1.3% gets into play. And some custom duty tariff change has happened. So even that is part of this 1.3%.
So from the next quarter, 14.5% to 15%, that kind of margin range we can work with?
I would not like to put a number right now.
Okay.
Let it flow in.
But has the raw material pressure continuing even in the March quarter?
No, I think the metal prices are all softening a bit and everything is coming down.
I think, I think, Mr. Gihani, they were softening. Now they're going up. So it'll be interesting to see how you manage that mix. But we'll stay tuned and we'll see how you manage that. Final question from my end. I think promoter stake is little over 80%, right? You'll have to bring it down to 75%. By when do you plan on bringing it down to 75%? What's the regulation you'll have to bring it down by when?
We have to bring this down by October 2019. And beyond this, I would not like to discuss this point because this still is under our discussion. And,
October 2019. All right. We'll stay tuned for that then.
Thank you, Mr. Gihani, for joining in. That's Endurance Tech talking about a 20% kind of growth rate for the company this year. Remember, with the new rules of D2H and cable coming into effect from the 1st of February, if you want to keep watching our channel, that's India's #1 English business news channel, just call your cable or D2H operator, ask for CNBC TV 18, only for ₹4 per month.